Hello everyone, and welcome back to our World Cup 2026 Contenders series, where we analyze the national teams considered most likely to make deep runs and compete for the championship at the biggest football tournament on the planet. Hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, today, we will take a closer look at one of the most talked about teams heading into World Cup 2026, a team that attracts enormous attention and expectations, but also faces plenty of skepticism. That team is England. Can Thomas Tuchel achieve what many talented managers before him failed to accomplish? And will the exclusion of several high-profile stars such as Phil Foden, Jacob Ramsey, Harry Maguire, and Trent Alexander-Arnold prove to be the right decision? Or will it become a costly mistake that England will ultimately have to pay for? In the history of world football, very few national teams possess a status as unique as England. It is the birthplace of football, the country where the first laws of the game were established, and one of the nations that has had the greatest influence on the global development of the sport. However, the greatest paradox of English football is that the national team has never truly achieved success commensurate with the immense potential and resources at its disposal. To this day, the 1966 World Cup title on home soil remains the only major trophy in the history of the England national team. It was the tournament where England defeated West Germany in the final to become world champions for the first, and so far only, time. Since that moment, English football has produced countless generations of outstanding players. From Sir Bobby Charlton, Gary Lineker, and Paul Gascoigne to David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney, and Harry Kane. Despite their talent, none of these generations managed to bring England back to the summit of world football. For many years, England was often associated with the image of a team that entered major tournaments with high expectations but frequently disappointed when it mattered most. Everything truly began to change under Gareth Southgate. The English manager helped restore England's status as one of the world's leading national teams by consistently guiding them deep into major tournaments, reaching the semi-finals of the 2018 World Cup, finishing as runners-up at UEFA Euro 2020, and again ending as runners-up at UEFA Euro 2024 represent the Three Lions' best achievements in decades. However, the gap between a contender and a champion can sometimes be defined by a single moment. After coming agonizingly close to glory on multiple occasions without being able to lift the trophy, the Football Association decided to open a new chapter by appointing Thomas Tuchel. The German manager heads into the 2026 World Cup with a very clear mission: to lead England back to the pinnacle of world football, a summit they have been waiting to reach again for nearly 60 years. Goalkeepers: Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, James Trafford. Defenders: Reece James, Ezri Konsa, Jarell Quansah, John Stones, Mark Gahey, Dan Burn, Nico O'Reilly, DJ Spence, Tino Livramento. Midfielders: Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson, Kobbie Mainoo, Jordan Henderson, Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham, Eberechi Eze. Forwards: Harry Kane, Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins, Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Gordon, Noni Madueke, Morgan Gibbs-White. When discussing England's squad for the 2026 World Cup, many people immediately think of a team blessed with exceptional depth and quality across all three areas of the pitch. The first name that undoubtedly comes to mind is Harry Kane. At 33 years old, the England captain is entering what could be his final World Cup at the highest level. More importantly, he is enjoying one of the most productive periods of his career. Having scored more than 60 goals across all competitions, his complete finishing ability, hold-up play, creative contributions, and vast experience at the highest level make him the focal point of every tactical plan devised by Thomas Tuchel. Alongside Kane is Jude Bellingham, the player widely regarded as the face of the new generation of English football. Although he has just come through a season that was not entirely perfect at Real Madrid due to injury issues and the team's inconsistent form, Bellingham is still considered one of the most complete midfielders in world football. In midfield, Declan Rice continues to serve as the foundation of England's playing style. The Arsenal midfielder is a key figure who is virtually irreplaceable in the team. His ability to break up opposition attacks, win back possession, control the tempo of the game, and support the build-up phase makes Declan Rice a crucial link between the defense and the attacking unit. Meanwhile, Bukayo Saka remains England's most dangerous weapon out wide. After several years of consistently impressive performances for both club and country, The Arsenal star has established himself as one of the finest wingers in European football. His pace, creativity, dribbling ability, and knack for delivering decisive moments make him a constant threat to any defense. One of the most notable aspects of England's squad for the 2026 World Cup is the presence of several young players and others who have never participated in a major international tournament before. The most prominent name in this group is Morgan Rogers. The Aston Villa midfielder has made remarkable progress over the past 2 seasons. With his ideal physical attributes, excellent dribbling ability, and modern attacking mindset, Rogers is widely regarded as one of the biggest breakthrough talents in English football. Another player generating significant excitement is Kobbie Mainoo. Despite his young age, Mainoo has displayed remarkable maturity in his style of play. His ability to retain possession under pressure, dictate the tempo of the game, and remain composed in possession has led many observers to compare him with some of Europe's top central midfielders. In defense, Nico O'Reilly is a player attracting special attention. For many years, the left-back position has been regarded as a persistent weakness for England. However, the rapid development of the young Manchester City player is providing plenty of reason for optimism. Meanwhile, Jarell Quansah is another player worth keeping a close eye on. Thomas Tuchel's decision to place his trust in the young centre-back while leaving Harry Maguire out of the squad sparked intense debate and controversy. However, that very decision also gives Quansah the perfect opportunity to enter the World Cup and prove that the German manager made the right call. When the Football Association appointed Thomas Tuchel, their goal was clear: to find a manager with the character and expertise needed to take the national team beyond the limits that so many previous generations had failed to overcome. In terms of achievements, Tuchel has little left to prove. He guided Chelsea to the UEFA Champions League title, won numerous domestic trophies with Paris Saint-Germain, and enjoyed successful spells at Bayern Munich. In the eyes of many football experts, he is regarded as one of the finest managers of his generation. Tuchel's greatest strength does not necessarily lie in creating revolutionary tactical concepts, but rather in his ability to build highly organized teams. His sides are renowned for their discipline, balance, and capacity to perform effectively in the biggest and most demanding matches. The decision to leave out players such as Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Jacob Ramsey, Harry Maguire, and Trent Alexander-Arnold sparked a wave of controversy across the English media. However, Thomas Tuchel has remained firm in his stance. He has emphasized that the objective is not to select the 26 most talented players, but rather to build the squad that is best suited to function as a cohesive and effective team. That is why players such as Jordan Henderson, Ivan Toney, and DJ Spence have been selected, despite not being the most high-profile stars available. Of course, this philosophy will only be judged as successful if England achieves a strong result at the World Cup. However, at the very least, Tuchel is demonstrating that he is willing to accept all the pressure and scrutiny that come with these decisions in order to stay true to his convictions. Under Thomas Tuchel, England have primarily operated in a 4-2-3-1 formation or a 4-3-3 variation depending on the opposition. The core principle of this system is controlling the midfield and maintaining a compact team structure when out of possession. Declan Rice usually plays as the deepest midfielder, responsible for breaking up opposition attacks and recovering possession. Alongside him is a midfielder with a greater emphasis on ball progression, such as Elliot Anderson or Kobbie Mainoo. Further forward, Jude Bellingham is given the freedom to roam and link the midfield with the attack. Out wide, Bukayo Saka and either Anthony Gordon or Marcus Rashford provide pace, directness, and the ability to penetrate defensive lines. Meanwhile, Harry Kane remains the focal point of the entire attacking system. England's greatest strength at present is their balance. They are capable defensively, physically strong in midfield battles, and possess several players who can produce decisive moments when it matters most. However, the team's weaknesses are also quite apparent. The omission of Phil Foden and Cole Palmer has deprived the squad of two of the most creative players in English football today. As a result, England can sometimes struggle against deep defending opponents, where moments of individual brilliance are often needed to unlock stubborn defenses. In addition, some of Thomas Tuchel's tactical experiments have not always delivered the desired results. On several occasions, England's use of a dual number 10 system or other unconventional attacking approaches failed to produce the expected level of effectiveness. That is why, despite their impressive results leading up to the 2026 World Cup, England have not yet completely convinced all supporters that they have found the perfect formula for success. After being eliminated in the quarter-finals of the 2022 World Cup, England entered another period filled with both hope and disappointment. Under Gareth Southgate, the Three Lions maintained their status as one of the strongest national teams in Europe. However, their defeat in the UEFA Euro 2024 final once again left the dream of a major international trophy unfulfilled. That disappointment also marked the beginning of a new era under the leadership of Thomas Tuchel. If we look purely at the numbers, England's 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign was virtually flawless. They became the first European nation to secure qualification for football's biggest tournament. England won all 8 of their qualifying matches, collected the maximum 24 points, and, most remarkably, did not concede a single goal throughout the campaign. Despite such an impressive qualification record, England still head into the World Cup with plenty of question marks surrounding the team. The reasons stem largely from England's performances in several recent friendly matches. Defeats against Senegal and Japan sparked a strong wave of criticism across the English media. Many supporters argued that the team lacked creativity, moved the ball too slowly, and was failing to make the most of its star-studded squad. Even so, there are still plenty of reasons for England fans to remain optimistic. Unlike many previous cycles, England enter the 2026 World Cup with a relatively stable core. Key players such as Kane, Rice, Bellingham, and Saka are all in what should be the peak years of their careers. In addition, the squad possesses enough depth to rotate effectively throughout a long tournament. The World Cup 2026 draw has placed England in Group L alongside Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. On paper, this is not an overly difficult group, but it is certainly not an easy path either. England will still need to perform at a high level to secure qualification and build momentum heading into the knockout stages. England's most formidable opponent in the group is Croatia, although the generation that finished as runners-up at the 2018 World Cup has moved beyond its peak years. Croatia have retained their identity as an experienced and highly resilient team that consistently performs well in major tournaments. England supporters have certainly not forgotten the painful defeat in the 2018 World Cup semi-final, when Croatia ended the Three Lions' dream after a dramatic 120-minute battle. England's next opponent is Ghana. The African side may not be rated as highly as England or Croatia, but they possess a number of players blessed with pace, power, and athleticism. Players such as Mohamed Kudus and Antoine Semenyo are more than capable of causing problems for any defense if given enough space to operate. Meanwhile, Panama are considered the weakest team in the group on paper, but they should not be underestimated. They have produced several surprises in the CONCACAF region over the years and are known for their determination, discipline, and fighting spirit. England will be expected to win, but Panama are certainly capable of making life difficult for any opponent that takes them lightly. Overall, England remain the highest-rated team in Group L. Most major international football outlets continue to regard the Three Lions as one of the leading contenders to reach at least the semi-finals of the tournament. However, many experts also share the view that England have yet to demonstrate the consistency required to go all the way to the final. Progressing from the group stage is almost a mandatory objective. Beyond that, given the quality and depth of their squad, England certainly have the ability to reach the round of 16 in the quarter-finals. However, from that point onward, they will likely be forced to face some of the strongest teams in world football. If Harry Kane can maintain the extraordinary goal-scoring form he has shown at Bayern Munich, if Jude Bellingham can rediscover the most explosive version of his game, and if Thomas Tuchel's bold decisions prove to be the right ones, then England can realistically dream of achieving far more than just a place among the final 8 teams. Thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the upcoming episodes of our World Cup 2026 Contenders series. Thank you once again for your support. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.